for the 9th time this week, the president staying silent about his former fixer on camera, but not online. That's after Michael Cohen, according to a knowledgeable source, asserts he'd be willing to tell the special counsel that Donald Trump knew about that June 2016 Trump Tower meeting, the one where his son tried to get dirt on Hillary Clinton from Russians linked to the Kremlin. If true, the bombshell revelation would fly in the face of denials like these.
Did you tell your father anything about this?
No. It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
Did you know at the time that they had the meeting?
No, I didn't know anything about the meeting. It must have been a very unimportant meeting because I never even heard about it.
The president standing by his position today, tweeting, "I did not know of the meeting with my son, Don Jr." Sounds to me like someone is trying to make up stories in order to get himself out of an unrelated jam. The president's lawyer says Cohen, who worked for the president for years, is lying.
He's been lying all week. I mean, he's been lying for years.
So why does it matter?
If it suddenly comes to light that back when this meeting took place in Trump Tower in June of 2016, not only did the president know about it, but he in some way blessed it in advance, then we're in an entirely different place when we talk about collusion and for purposes of Bob Mueller's investigation.
If Cohen's claim is true, the president's son could be in trouble for lying to Congress. Donald Trump Jr.'s lawyer says, "We are very confident of the accuracy and reliability of the information that has been provided by Don Jr." For now, no proof of whatever went down, a he said, they said situation. As for Donald Trump Jr., he was seen today at the airport waiting for a flight just a few feet from none other than the special counsel. You see him on the left there. Robert Mueller's spokesperson says the two did not interact. But Lester, it's one of those D.C. moments you just can't make up.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.